that's on the ground is cold, but it's in my fingers again. Now that right there is simple because why? Number one, I can hear my tongue now. That is different from what I'd spoken 2 seconds ago. 18 seconds have passed on the recording. Not a single second has passed. This is basically the referral to birth to here. Now, there is a reason why 37 seconds seems a little too fast for me. But the point. Now, if I had done that with intent, it would have been fine, but we'll just point out a simple notion that you understand. What can I use as a discardable object that will make sound? Simply because there's usually a point where you can a texter, a small texter. It is not a normal texter. It has a magnet on it, on the lid. Now, I've used it in about a month or two. Will probably not use it because it doesn't allow the simplicity to be as simple as a windowsill, a wall, or otherwise. I would most certainly expect this device to be used on a piece of paper in an emergency situation. In due case, I have about 5 pens that I do not see the support in which 2017 has that pen holder to the capacity that had come in looking over at my 50-inch Bourne TV that has a fully working VGA output, but the problem being I am, when 10 years of age, I was introduced not only to whistling but to electronic equipment that when I was 6 I had a drum machine, but when I was 10 I took a power cord and turned it into a speaker cord. There was no speaker cords available. You could probably purchase them. I had the obvious equation of being 11 years of age to 14 and 9 months, having at least $20 per week for 3 years. Now, information is meant to be emergency here, Phil. But don't worry, 3 minutes and 9 seconds is not a problem. Now, what we're going to do with this discardable object that you notice is a texter, and that you do not have any other texters unless inside that drawer where you would find this texter to be of relation, 2 or 3 pens. One I think is purple. Now, to the equivalent, I have a 40-inch TV. 2017, that 50-inch TV. You pay better respects to this goddamn discardable object than that of which you have discarded. So you'll understand that if I do these things with another object, it will not be as simple as looking at my 50-inch TV. I have punched, kicked it, and otherwise it has scratches and fucked up shit to it. Now, 2017, I have this 50-inch Bourne TV that has the capacity for VGA input, HDMI input, a 10-meter long HDMI cord. That HDMI cord lasted a month, maybe 2 or 3, but since no one else here other than this property, that cord that I had, 10-meter HDMI, on one side, its HDMI was a little bit shorter. It was a little bit inside the HDMI cord. Now, what happened, say I need to refer to it before I refer to an old thing which I've referred to 2 or 3 times, but I have not recorded. Now, I can't refer to it, I'll have to refer to the 2016 thing. 2016, I see in a catalogue a digital radio. Thusly, an antique digital radio, how you want to express it. When I was 18, I was walking down the street and I had seen an antique radio. It was very much what you would expect to see of a 50s or of a little wagon, red wagon thing type thing. Um, you'd understand this to be virtually of importance, but it had a crack within it and so forth, and it was not 100% of its radio purchasing. Now, that still wouldn't be a problem because it was, as you would think, to be of value. Now, I went up for a week. I was 10 years of age. I went to Canberra. They have a Channel 9 that is called Channel Win. Now, I was watching an antiques show, right? And it had come along to show you the Batmobile, right? Now, they said $300. Now, just remember this. I hear some hippie say, "You're way out there like Pluto." Now, this is intermingled with, they sent a message to the aliens out into space. It returned. It said, "Wow, the monks used to do kung fu. That's why there was the opposite of a speed hump in the concrete there." Um, Now, I think there may have been references to a Mayan village that had disappeared, but this information. Now, 2008, I'm watching TV and it says, swears she's off her head. Now, just imagine a female, "Oh yeah, mate," something like that for a few seconds. Now, I know the difference between that and a normal thing because, number one, the extremities of it. There was no comedy, there was no TVS, which is cable access, whatever have ya. Now, when I saw an ad called Kellogg's Tiger once, that was great. This Kellogg's turned into a female cereal. I can't remember the one that I was eating at the time. That due case in between seeing that ad once and then seeing, "Hi, Rupert, the Australian people I want my Bobo." There's a Simpsons episode. Now, just remember, I've done all this within 8 minutes. Earlier at 1 a.m., I had a half an hour recording. Before that, I had an hour recording. The hour recording I had uploaded to YouTube. Now, I have a new Gmail account. I just opened it a few days ago. I uploaded my 5th video to YouTube. It said abandoned or otherwise I will be able to show you instead of speaking what can only be spoken because a memory a memory. Now, should I speak about information that's important due case to the fact that if I had to say it to someone stressing, they would then have to choose between letting go of the gold and saving their life, or obviously the point in which I didn't say it, but what were you saying? I was saying that recently I had this thing. Did you hear the click? You can't change a click from a mouse. It does it or it doesn't do it. That is what a click on a mouse does. just in case you need a reference. Because you heard 2 clicks, I clicked my fingers twice. That would be difficult to perform these things in the same caliber, area, ratio, whatever have you. But 10 minutes would have this recording at quite an important recording, regardless of looking at 10 minutes, 21 seconds, 22, and simply thinking, well, yes, it could be the most important thing in my lifetime. It could be the most, whatever have you, the opposite. Um, the point of the reference here is that as simple as a click to the upload, instead of finding 5 different Gmails, provide 5 different versions from 2016 to 2023 of my music, where 2016 I'm introduced to YouTube again since I was in the early 2000s. I go to the Getaway. I'm listening to the Getaway album, which is Red Hot Chili Peppers. When I'm 35, seated in this very same spot, I my birthday. I find a rock lobster, which I had assumed was rock lobster. The Family Guy, the guy with the dog and the Stewie. Um, oops, you need to complete it first before you do that, Philip.